Welcome to the Nubian Spiritual Warriors Astrology Podcast.
My spiritual essence is Walamu Mudada. And this podcast is provided for those who are seeking wisdom on their journey from darkness into the light.
Welcome to the Nubian Spiritual Warriors Astrology Podcast. Kee2 Star Constellations. First, astrological planetary symbols. The language of astrology requires that you learn planetary symbols. These symbols will assist in decoding information. Astrological signs. The language of astrology requires that you learn astrological signs. These signs will also assist in decoding information. As you look at this astrological wheel, you'll notice that the signs are put in the correct place. Through your studies, you will be able to do the same thing. For example, here's an astrological wheel. Notice that in the first house, the planetary symbol is Mars, and the sign to the left of it is Aries. Let's move down to the second house. The planetary symbol is Venus, and to the left of that, the sign is Taurus. There's a host of information that you'll be able to decode once you become familiar with the meaning of the signs and the symbols. Now, your exercise is to create a chart similar to this. Then place the correct planet in the correct house. Place the correct astrological sign in the correct house. It should look something like this. So work on it until you get it correct. There's no rush. Take your time. Next, once you have mastered that, you will move to the houses. Now, each house covers a certain area of life. Like, let's say, take a look at the first house. The first house deals with yourself, your appearance, your self-image, your self-identity. Second house deals with finances, possessions, values, and so on. Once you have learned to put the correct planet and sign in the correct house, the next step is to identify the quality of that house. So again, you will create a chart something like this. And once you have the planet in the correct house, the sign in the correct house, the next step is to indicate one area of life that each house addresses. So place one word in each house that will identify the domain or area of life that that house covers. It should look something like this, but only with one word. In this case, you might see 3, 2, 3, or 4 words. But your assignment is just to put one word in there, a key word that would represent, say, the domain or the energy of that house. Another important factor is astrological patterns, particularly when you want to interpret or read a chart. Many times, when you look up at the night sky, there are a variety of star patterns or constellations that provide immediate information. For example, certain constellations you will only see in the southern sky. Therefore, you know that you are facing or traveling south. This knowledge helped ancient sailors navigate the seas. Also, certain constellations were only seen during the summer or fall. This provided information about the seasons. Likewise, there are certain patterns in an astrological chart that provides information about character traits. So let's take a look at a few. Let's begin with the splash. The patterns are evenly scattered throughout the houses with 1 to 2 planets in each house. Take a look at the diagram to your right. There are less than 4 empty houses. This person has a great deal of versatility and has a Gemini nature. The challenge is to focus that vast energy. Now, although the individual may not be a Gemini, you will pick up on a Gemini nature or Gemini energy. The bold. The bold pattern. All the planets are within 180 degrees range of each other. Sometimes it's 190 degrees. It is a self-contained energy that is comfortable in the hemisphere that the planets are in. However, the individual will focus on the void areas of life that doesn't have any natal planets, as you can see on the picture to your right. Therefore, the individual has a certain sensitivity to the areas of life or people that may be lacking in some form or the other. The bold pattern. Next, you see a picture of the fan. All planets except for one is within 120 degrees to 140 degree range of each other. They're tightly packed together. The single planet or handle is at least 60 degrees from the other planets. It is also opposite of at least one planet in the group. The handle or single planet is a source of support or nurturing for the individual. It is like a safety blanket and provides support. Similar to a fan's handle, it controls the action or the energy of the action. The fan. Next is the bucket. The bucket is a pattern similar to a fan, the handle being one or two planets at least 30 degrees from the planets in the bowl and opposite a planet in the bowl. The energy is channeled through the handle of the bucket. Unlike the fan, the handle is not a point of support or nourishment. It is a focal point to release the energy, to release the expression of the energy. Just like, for example, you may have a teapot on the stove and it's steaming, and then to release that energy, that top will come up and the steam will come out of there. Well, that's the same idea with this handle for the bucket. Marilyn Monroe was President Kennedy's secret lover. However, it was one of the worst kept secrets in the country. Notice, they both have a similar chart pattern. The majority of their planets are in the upper hemisphere, which indicates a public life and a certain emotional and psychological experience. This can attribute to their emotional and psychological ties to each other. The ability to identify chart patterns can reveal a host of information prior to a detailed analysis. The locomotive pattern. All the planets are within 240 degrees of each other. The planets that are in the engine and caboose position are 120 degrees apart. The individual is a self-driven and motivated person. The engine of the locomotive is the first planet that crosses the ascendant moving clockwise. The house position and planet are key factors. Also, the midpoint of the trine between the empty houses are driving the engine forward, creating great ambition. The locomotive. The seesaw pattern. The planets are divided in two distinct groups. The groups are at least 60 degrees apart on both sides. The individual have a Libra-like tendency in relationships. There is an internal need to balance the opposite side of the individual's personality. And many times they will experience, say, like a seesaw or rhythm in their life. Paul McCartney, he was one of the singing groups called the Beatles. June 18th, 1942 to present. Paul was just 15 years old when he first met John Lennon, another singer in the group. During the week of April 4th, 1964, the Beatles occupied the top 5 spots simultaneously on the Billboard Hot 100. The songs were Can't Buy Me Love, Twist and Shout, She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand, and Please, Please Me. Paul McCartney's company, MPL Communications, owns the copyrights to more than 3,000 songs, including all of the songs written by Buddy Holly and the musicals Guys and Dolls, A Chorus Line, and Grease. The bundle pattern. All the planets are within a trine or 120 degrees of each other. The range can be as far as 130 degrees. The bundle personality focuses his or her energy on areas of life it is normally reflected by the signs and the houses of the planets. The person has limited overall perspective. So they have a limited overall perspective, but has the ability to master the area of his or her focus. The first overall leading planet above the ascendant often provides the energy to be manifested. It is reflected at the midpoint, opposing the bundle center. So this individual can become a specialist in what area they choose. They can master that area. They just need to focus their energy there. And looking at the house and the signs and the position of the planets can tell you basically what area they may have a proclivity to master. The bundle pattern. John Lennon. He was another member of the singing group called the Beatles. October 9th, 1940 to December 8th, 1980. John was one of the greatest singers in the history of rock and roll music. However, he hated the sound of his own voice. That's interesting. Also, John was one of the greatest songwriters of all times. Yet he revealed that songwriting was an absolute torture for him. But he was a great songwriter. John Lennon wrote the popular song Imagine, notably sung by Randy Crawford. If you haven't heard it, please listen to that song. It will tell you a great deal about John Lennon. The tripod. The planets are divided into 3 groups, with each group about 60 degrees from each other. The personality is a unique individual who has the confidence to follow his or her own path. The tripod.
Assume the position. It may be with your feet flat on the floor and your spine erect. It may be in a yoga position. Whatever position you assume, your spine is erect. Now gently close your eyes. For you are going on an inner journey. And this inner journey begins with the breath. So as you inhale, earth energy comes up through the center of your feet, through the center of your body, to the top of your head. And on exhalation, it showers out the top of your head like a fountain, returning to the earth. Again, on inhalation, earth energy comes up through the center of your feet, through the center of your body to the top of your head. And on exhalation, this energy showers out the top of your head like a fountain.
Kee2 star constellations. Kee2 star constellations is a family affair. As a family or an individual, learn the ancient science of astronomy, astrology, numerology, and sacred geometry. The lessons are basic and engaging for all ages. They are insightful and empowering. Kee2 star constellations.